Today we're going to talk about finding the slope of a line. Let's take an example of this line here, a straight line. We want to find the slope, or what we call the pitch of the line. Now the slope of this line is given by the rise divided by the run. So we define the slope on any line to be the rise over the run. But the rise is, if we have 2 points, x1, y1, and another point x2, y2 on this line, the rise is actually the difference in y's. In other words, the rise is going to be y2 minus y1, this distance here. So the rise is going to be y2 minus y1 divided by, similarly the run is going to be the difference in those x values. So that'll be x2 minus x1. x2 minus x1 will be the run. So the formula for finding a slope between 2 points, x1, y1 and x2, y2, is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. And that is really just the rise over the run. And sometimes you hear this stated as the change in y over the change in x. Okay, that's another definition of the slope. Let's take an example. I want to find the slope of this line connecting -1, 3 to 5, -2. If we plot these points, -1, 3 sits here, and 5, -2 sits here, and we join them up with a line. We want to find the slope of that line. Well, the slope is defined to be y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. What are those? What are these x2s and x1s and y1s and y2s? Those are our coordinate points. So for example, I could designate -1, 3 as x1 and y1, and then 5, -2 as x2 and y2. So now I want to get the slope between these 2 points. I do y2 minus y1, that's -2 minus 3, divided by x2 minus x1, that's 5 minus -1, and I calculate it out. So that's going to give me -2 minus 3 is -5, and then 5 plus 1 gives me 6. So here's my slope, -5, 6. And what does it mean? It's the rise over the run. Remember, the slope is the rise over the run. It means for every 5 I go down, in this case because it's negative, for every 5 I go down, I go 6 across, Okay, so notice if we have a line that's going down as we go from left to right, the slope will be negative. Let's take another example. Here we have another example. We want to find the slope of the line that connects -1, -1 to 4, 2. So let's plot these points, -1, -1, 4, 2. And we draw a line between them. What is the slope going to be? Well, the slope is y2, y minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That is the slope formula. Okay, and if I label this again, x1, y1, x2, y2, and now we plug these numbers in, we're going to get y2 minus y1, that's going to be 2 minus -1, and then 4 minus -1, 4 minus -1. And we calculate that out. 2 plus 1 is 3, and 4 plus 1 is 5. So that slope of that line is 3/5. Okay, remember that stands for rise over run. Okay, so the rise, it means for every 3 we go up, we start at a point, for every 3 we go up, we go 5 across. Okay, go up 3, and then go across 5, and we're back on the line. Notice that this slope is positive, and a positive slope is when we're going from left to right and we're going up, kind of like going up the mountain.